Hi, this is Robbie Grewal, and you're watching me on Cineblues.com.
Hi, this is film critic Ahwaan, and today you are watching me on Cineblues. And today we have one of our prominent directors from Bollywood, uh, whose Aakhri Sach has been streaming on Disney Plus Hotstar, and it met with a very acclaimed and it was response and widely appreciated. So, Robbie, just tell me, Aakhri Sach met with a very unprecedented success and
Correct.
received good response from the audience
Correct.
who have been watching the streaming platforms. And it starred Tamannaah, Bhatia, Abhishek, Banerjee,
Correct.
and it was an intense plot, allegedly based on a true story, true incidents that happened in
Correct.
2018. So after making Aakhri Sach, how do you feel? How has been the reactions that you have been getting directly? Can you please tell us about that?
So honestly, it's been great. The reactions have been pouring in, and they've been fantabulous. It's a little
Yeah,
overwhelming, and for any filmmaker, any storyteller to get a response like this kind of validates the point of telling the story. Because at the end of the day, it's the audience who have to love your telling. That's the key to any filmmaker. So it's
right.
been really really good. The response overall in terms of the numbers is fantastic. It's trended for in the top three for that matter for 5 weeks. 5 weeks at all max
Right.
across the channels, across all platforms. It's still number one on Hotstar even today as we speak. It's been
Yes.
7 weeks down. So, and more than numbers, honestly, it's just that the fact that the way people have taken to the show,
Yeah.
the way people have enjoyed the story and sort of enjoyed the telling, and so that's been great. Yeah, numbers are also fantastic, but it's actually the response on a very personal level from people who have watched it, and overall, which has been really been icing on the cake. So yeah, really really happy.
Great. That's great. So, Robbie, this particular web series was based on the Quran death, right, which happened in Delhi during
Right.
2018, probably. Yeah,
Correct. Correct.
after 2 years, Netflix also came up with a documentary. You might be aware,
Correct.
House of
Correct.
Subjects, on the same
Correct.
subject, but it was a documentary, and it also was a fictional, as
Correct.
a dramatized
Correct.
version. So, before
Correct.
starting off with the project of Aakhri Sach, did you
Mm.
have any kind of inhibitions of taking these off? Like any kind of inhibitions, because this story was already made and it was already adapted. So
I mean, not really. I'll tell you, if you look at the West, generally a lot of shows have docus made on them on and fictional stories made on the same story. It's
yeah.
it's happened very very often.
Hmm.
And for me, the story was compelling. I saw the documentary obviously when it came out.
Yeah.
For me, the story was compelling enough to be told in a fictional format, in spite of the fact this docu had been made because it had so many layers to it, and obviously we fictionalized a bit in terms of the telling. But
Right.
intrinsically, the story had so many beautiful layers and so much of mystery that
Yes.
I was very gung ho. In spite of the fact that docus come out, I still want to make the story from my perspective. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's exactly what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So the subject was very intense, kind of dark, and something which is
Correct.
the
Correct.
Indian
Correct.
audience was not, accustomed to. Like, it was a very
Correct.
different and shocking when the incident happened. It was
Hmm.
very
Correct.
shocking incident which happened. So, did you have the same kind of atmosphere while directing the story, as in the people around you, like Tamannaah, Abhishek, Danish,
Yeah. Sure.
all those
Sure.
people?
Sure.
How was the
See,
experience?
it's See, I'll be very frank with you. It's tougher on the actors
Yeah.
because they are playing the part of characters who've been through a certain kind of a history or whatever their life has been like, and eventually it ended
Mm.
up the way it ended up. So it's tougher for the actors. I
Right.
have a little more pragmatic approach towards telling of such stories. I'm
Mm.
I'm pretty relaxed. I don't take the baggage of what I'm saying or how I'm going to tell a story of 11 people dying into my personal space at all. And I'm pretty chilled on the set, so it was okay for me. I and credit to
Mm.
my actors, they also sort of took it well in that sense. They were like we had a lot of discussions pre the shoot in terms of the characters and what happened. So they were prepared in that sense. They
Right.
didn't land up on the set suddenly and realize, oh my God, this is what the story is or how it's going to end up in terms of our story arc. So they were very well prepared before we went on the floors. So even they were professional and wonderful enough to understand the complexities and yet not affect them too much. So yeah, it,
Okay.
it was okay. I mean, I enjoyed the process really. I mean, to be honest.
Okay, great. Ravi, your films largely center around dark plots, intense, the intense films. I told you, right, Samay, your
Yes,
first
correct,
film,
correct,
which you directed,
correct, correct.
released yesterday, as in 10th October
But
2003,
yeah,
completed 20 years. So it's
correct,
one
correct,
of my favorite films when it comes to thrillers, right? And
correct.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, and of also Romeo Akbar
Right,
Walter, right?
right,
That was
right,
also
right.
very intense. As in the
Correct,
narration, the treatment was very intense, very dark
correct,
setting.
correct,
So, do you have a
correct.
knack for these darker plots or darker side of human psyche? Like, do you have a knack of?
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's just that I gravitate towards thrillers or intense story. That's happened, to be honest. You're right, but it's just that I just came across the stories which are compelling, and I gravitated towards them, and I ended up telling them. So I don't know. I don't have an exact answer for your question, but I like mysteries. I like
Mhm.
complexities. I like
Mhm.
unanswered questions that need to be answered. Stories of such kind, possibly. So I never thought of it, but you asked me, so I'm thinking aloud as I speak. So probably, yeah. I mean, I do enjoy, like I said, mysteries, and also I'm an ad filmmaker, so I tell the
Yeah.
normal stories in 30 seconds or 1 minute, so that takes away from telling complex ones in that sense. So yeah, so that kind of uh, you know mixes it correctly for me in a way.
Right.
Yeah, so I enjoy such stories, honestly. I do.
Yeah. So, Robbie, before you made Romeo Akbar Walter, there was a long break, right? I think you made a couple of films during 2007, Alu Chat, or 2009 rather.
Yeah,
And there was a long
nine,
break.
nine, correct,
You had been making
correct,
ad films. So, and
correct,
another time there was a big pause after Romeo Akbar Walter. You made Aakhri Sach,
correct,
right? So,
correct,
so
correct.
is it difficult for you as a filmmaker, as a director, to come into to step into those shows after a long after such a long break, or you think the process is too natural for you?
No, so I'll tell you what, I mean, I do ad films for a living. So my bread and butter comes from selling the 1 minute commercials that I do.
Hmm.
So for me to tell a long format is only if I have something very, very interesting from my heart to say.
Hmm.
So, it's not, I have to do a film every year to run my kitchen. It's not like that. So I'm thankful that I have the liberty to actually tell stories as and when I want to in terms of long form
Yeah.
format.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. And to be fair and frank with you, yeah, between 2010 and 19, there's been a really long break, which I'm going to change now. And it's been a three and a half year break between Romeo Akbar Walter and Aakhri Sach, but there was COVID for 2 years, so
Of
nothing
course.
was
Yeah.
happening for 2 years.
Yeah.
But still, now I've in my head told myself that I have to tell stories, and thankfully I have quite a few stories to tell in my head
Oh, great.
as I speak. So now the breaks are going to be much lesser. I mean, in that sense, yeah.
So, Samay had a female protagonist, Sushmita Sen, right?
Correct,
She played a
correct,
cop,
correct,
investigating, or
correct,
rather trying to nab the serial killer. And even in
correct,
Aakhri, we have a female protagonist
correct,
in
correct,
the form of Tamannaah,
correct.
who is also investigating the case. So, when you write or when you think of stories or try to narrate the stories, do you have something like the female character in mind, like that?
I mean, yes and no. I began my career in long format with a lady investigating a crime, and I've come a full circle, honestly, with Aakhri Sach,
Yeah.
where there's again a lady investigating a crime. So it's nice. I mean, I just like to, like, for example, when Samay began, it was in my head. I want to show a character who's strong and who fits into the man world without even trying to fit into the man's world. She is just
Mhm.
who she is. You know what I mean? Uh, I personally feel women are way stronger than men in all
Mhm.
aspects.
Mhm.
So I mean, to showcase that strength on camera is, I think it's great. I enjoy that, and
Right.
uh, and also the strength when has some vulnerability attached to it, even makes it more compelling as a character. Like the way, for
Mhm.
example, Tamannaah had in Aakhri Sach. It
Right.
was not just one shade strength of a character. She was actually vulnerable. She actually had a past. You know what I mean? So I
Yes.
enjoy characters and showcasing female characters which are not run of the mill in that sense. So yeah, I mean, I do enjoy uh, telling stories with human characters who have a certain graft to them and layers to them.
I still remember when Samay released in 2003, Robbie. I was just into my MBA. first year, and that was considered a very progressive film during, because those times we did not have this kind of dark thrillers, investigation based thrillers. So any particular memories of working with Sushmita, or because it completed 20 years? That's
I
why
mean, no. So I have a lot of memories, to be honest. I was really young that time.
Yeah.
And at that time, the Indian film industry was not in a way that it is today. You know what I mean? It's like we had one song in the entire film, no romance track. There was
Right.
no so-called masala, as one calls
Yeah.
it, in the
Very
film.
offbeat, very
So it
progressive.
was, it was, there was no norm like the kind of film we were making. But I was lucky, to be honest. I was lucky to get the right producers behind me, and my company co-produced the film. The right people who kind of met up with us along the journey, and Sushmita being one of the key ones, where I met her, and we had a 2.5 hour session over the script, and she just was super excited. She said, "Let's do it. When do we shoot?" So it was kind of smooth in a way. It was really nice, and she's a fantastic actor, as we all know. Great personality, great person, and I have the fondest memories of working with her. And now I see her playing up the parts even today. The ones she's doing these days. I mean, fantastic. Yeah. So it's kudos to her for sustaining herself for so long and being a part of the industry and being part of stories, such wonderful stories. So yeah. So since you mentioned it, I'm going to reconnect with her.
So ever thought of making a sequel to Samay, like, because Sush is there in the, she's still strong.
I mean, not really. Honestly, I was. Yeah, no. I was told by a few people that I should, but no, I did not, because there was no compelling story in my head.
Okay.
But at the same time, there's an innate desire to work with Sush again. So yeah, let's see. I mean,
okay.
Where it goes.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, that's lovely talking to you, Robbie, and we wish you have a fantastic time ahead with all your future projects, and we look forward to your work, because
thank you.
Admirer of your work.
You've been really kind. Thank you, Ahwaan. It's really pleasure to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Robbie. Have a great
Cheers, Ahwaan. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.